Well, I mean, Chris Honeycutt here to the program. He's got Mikkel Parlo, Bellator 156 coming up here June 17th. We were just talking before we started recording. This fight's at middleweight. It's at 185. Like, why the jump up from welter for you?
Well, I was talking to my managers, and I just fought about 6 weeks ago, and I cut quite a bit of weight, and my training right after my last fight, training was going real good, and my weight was a little high, and at some point in time, I wanted to go up to middleweight anyways. I don't know if this is gonna be a permanent thing or if I'm just gonna, this fight, maybe another one or so, and we'll just see if the training transitions well into the cage.
Well, they are doing the new, as we're speaking, doing this interview, UFC 199 is weighing in, getting ready to weigh in, and they're using the new dehydration test in California. Your fight's in Fresno, which is still part of California, so there'll be dehydration tests after you make weight as well. It's coming down to you have to be hydrated when you show up, on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you get in, and then you have to be hydrated or be able to be back to fully hydrated by the time you make weight. And so they're checking these things for better fighter safety. So it might be a good move for you to go to middleweight now, because I think a lot of guys are going to have to shift their weight classes. I don't see a lot of the guys that they're cutting a ton of weight, getting down to their weight classes, will be able to maintain, because it's too much burden on their bodies, and the states and commissions won't allow it.
Yeah, I know. In my last fight, I forgot the guy's name, but the head of the athletic commission up in Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun, and I believe they pulled 2 fights due to weight issues, and I fought welterweight there, and I was never approached by any concerns or anything like that. So I don't know if I would have fell under that. I didn't read the paperwork, so I actually don't know the exact new regulations. I know that they're cutting it down to where, it's just hard to cut weight. Obviously a few pounds is a few pounds, but for what some fighters do, they try to. It's ridiculous. I think it's like 20. They're trying to do 20, 25 pounds in like 30 hours, and that's just
that's
and so I get their concerns and wanting to try to fix that. It's a shame how some people that don't know what they're doing have made it to where people that do. Like myself. I cut quite a bit of weight, but I feel like I do it very smart and strategically. That I am able to put my best foot forward the next day.
I disagree. I think it is guys that know what they're doing, and that's the reason why they're like, "Oh, don't worry, I can just put on 5 more pounds. It doesn't make a difference because I know how to cut weight so well. I'm very efficient at cutting weight. They're efficient at cutting weight, not at being prepared to make weight. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of guys like, "Oh yeah, I'm great at cutting weight, so I'll cut 25 pounds." Well, don't you change your diet halfway through training camp instead and only have to cut 15 pounds? Like, no, I'll just cut the weight. I'll just cut the water weight. Like,
yeah. Well, that's just that's not. I really don't think there's really that much technique to cut it. If you're a mentally tough dude, you can make. I can make almost any weight if I actually had to. But having it I have to fight tomorrow in the back of my mind, or fight the day after. That makes you want to do it as efficiently as possible.
So let's talk about Mikkel Parlo at 185 then. So you're obviously going to be able to recuperate from making weight for this fight relatively easily. You'll probably eat the morning of before you even make weight. Your weight should be low enough. But then trying to come in against Mikkel, like, how do you see this fight breaking down? And do you think that he's going to be able to recover from his weight cut?
Well, I don't know how big he is during training camp. I watched some of his fights. He doesn't seem like he's really, really. He's a big dude, but he doesn't seem to. It doesn't look like he cuts a significant amount just to make middleweight. I feel like I might still have a little bit of size on him. As soon as I found out that I was fighting middleweight, I was able to really start getting my explosive training again. I got back into him. I worked out a few times. My body adapted very quickly. So
nice. So you will actually have to cut a little bit of weight then to make 85.
Yeah, I just worked out from 12 to about 150-ish, and I was still 201 after.
So, wow. Okay.
I am I'm very hydrated.
Yeah.
We talked in our last interview that I'm very big on overhydrating. So
yeah, it's
especially out here in Fresno. It's 108 today. It's hot, so you got to stay hydrated for sure.
Yeah, it's like it's actually hotter than Vegas. Vegas, I think, is like 102 today, and it's just crazy. I'm obviously in Hawaii though, so it's like for me it's only 80 degrees in the summer. and there's a breeze.
Nice cool breeze off the ocean.
So
Beautiful.
I can smell the salt water. Looking at some dolphins. No. But,
Yeah. Maybe after my flight, I might have to come visit you because it sounds like paradise.
It is. It really is. You wake up in paradise every day, but remember, I live on an island right now. For the next, at least till April of 2017, I live on an island. That's just kind of how it works out. It's tough trying to get back to the mainland, and my kids are still in Vegas, so I have to go back every month. And it's paradise.
Vegas
we come here to
isn't
visit.
that bad either.
No, that's easy.
Yeah,
it's simple. So, what do you think Parlo's going to do now? He knows he's fighting you, and he is, and admittedly, he's not like super fit, so he's not cutting a bunch of weight. He doesn't have to really diet hard. He's just kind of that size, and he's a typical European where he doesn't really want to cut that much weight.
Yeah,
but he's going to be pretty well recovered, I assume. I don't know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's pretty well recovered. So, but how do you see this fight breaking down?
Well, I mean, he's a striker, and he's not he's not like a boxer where he's on his feet and on his toes, bouncing around a lot. He's a hard-nosed dude. He can take. I haven't watched the fight, but I've been hearing about it quite a bit in other interviews where they're talking about when he fought Brandon Ward and got a technical knockout, and he never actually fell. And so he's definitely a tough dude. I don't see him being afraid of any of my punches that I'm throwing at him. But if it sets up some good opportunities for some takedowns, maybe I can get another submission or get some good ground and pound, because I feel like his ground game is 25% of what his stand up is.
Normally right now I ask fighters what's different in this training camp, because everyone now is getting to the point where they switched and they tweak little things in a training camp. But you already said it. You went back to explosive training. You put your explosive training back in again. Your body's reacted tremendously well to that during this training camp because you went up a weight class. Is there anything else different that you did this training camp to kind of get that extra 1% out of your body?
I mean, I'm focusing a lot on my hand speed only because he is a striker, so I want my striking to be at top notch. Even though I would rather take him down and ground and pound and get a submission there, just because I feel like that as far as which tools are sharper for him and me. I'm sharper on the ground, but sometimes you just can't get the takedown in your force to strike. So a lot of hand speed. I don't think power is going to really play much of a factor. He's a tough dude, so if I can lay my hands on him a lot, then in the judges' eyes, I mean, as long as I'm landing more combinations and more significant landed punches. The scorecard should go in my favor easily.
That's Chris Honeycutt. Get ready for Mikkel Parlo coming up here on Bellator 156. Chris, thanks so much for coming on here. Appreciate it, especially in the heat. Right now you guys are in Fresno.
Well, I'm used to it now. And it's dry heat, so as long as I'm in the shade, it's really not bad at all.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not too bad, but it's still, for me, anything over 105 is hot. Doesn't make a difference. Like I'm going to be sweating bullets. So.
Yeah, I just don't like the electric bill.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I understand that. All right, Chris, take care, man. Have a great rest of your training camp. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.